So welcome back. So in the last video we were looking at how to set the breakpoint. We already know how to determine the width at which we want to set the breakpoint. Okay. Now what do I mean by breakpoint? Take this design for instance. Okay. You notice changes as I adjust this width. Can you see the text or the font size has increased? Let me reduce it. You can see the font size is smaller now. So the point at which these changes take effect, that is what we mean by breakpoint. Okay, so you can see this is another breakpoint. You can see it. You can see. This is another breakpoint. This is another breakpoint. Okay, so that's what we mean by breakpoint. Okay, so let me go back to this. So we want to create a breakpoint as 630 pixel. So this is 630. Okay, so we want to create a breakpoint at this point. How do we go about it? Now I'll go to my responsive.css and say at media screen, and I'm starting from small width. So I want to set a style that will take effect from a larger screen, from 630 upwards. That's the style I want to write now, because everything we already have on the page is below 630 pixels. So I want to write a style so that once the device width hits 630 pixels, there is a change. So what I have at the moment is for 630 pixels and below. So do I say maximum width or minimum width? So I have to set a style that will say the minimum width for this style to take effect should be 630. Anything below 630, this style will not apply. The minimum it should apply is 630, because everything I already have applies to 630 and below, or below 630. The current style I have is for width or device width that is below 630. So I want, once it's above 630, I want to apply a different style for above 630. So I will write a style and say this style I'm writing, the least device width it should apply to, that is minimum width. So I will say minimum width of 630 pixel. So I have set a breakpoint at 630 pixel. So I'm saying minimum width. If I say maximum width, that means the highest this style I'm writing should apply to is 630. If I say maximum width, that is the highest. So it'll apply to below 630. But now I'm saying minimum width, so it will apply to 630 and above. Okay, so what do I want to do at this point? So I can now begin to write my CSS the normal way. I can write anything I like. I can say let the background color be red, anything I like. I can say body, background color. There is it, the background red. red should be red, green, blue. Okay, so can you see my background color this side changed to red because my device width is not less than 630. So it applies from 630 and above. So if I'm coming down, once it gets to 629, you see the red is gone, it's back. So this is just everything you need to know about media queries, how to write the formula. So every other thing beyond here just depends on your knowledge of CSS and your knowledge of design. Now if you already have the design, it just depends on your knowledge of CSS. So I'm saying, okay, now this is what I want to do. I want to change this font size. So if I know the section on my CSS where I have the font size, I can just locate it to know, okay, what style is responsible for this. Another way I can find out is through the developer tools. Okay, assuming it was closed, I can just right click here, inspect it to find out what is responsible. So I've seen the tag responsible for it, or the code responsible for that. So this is the code responsible for it. You can see it. Once I click on address, it selects it. Let me take it away from there. Let me go back. So you can see it. Once I click here, it is selected. Another way to find out what style is responsible for it or what code is responsible for it is this. Once you click here, you click on it, it selects the code that is responsible for it. So now once this is selected, I can now look for the style that is responsible for it. So I can see the style here, my style.css line 60. So that is the style that is responsible for it. So there is no font size given to it. So I can just give it any font size. But the code responsible for it is address. So I'll just come here and say address. Font size. Font size of let me say 18 pixels and see what it looks like. So 18 pixels looks okay. I can still try 20 pixels. So 20 pixels is also not bad because as I continue to increase it, it will still continue to occupy the space. So what else can I do? Now this is not part of the design, but I can just decide to change what I have here. I can just say, okay, these three, then the next three should just come to the side. So how do I do that? Okay, I think my 10 minutes is almost up, so let me do that in the next video. This is 8 minutes.